He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?"
The Joker has got to be my favorite character of all of the comic book universes. Now, I might just make another video on the reason behind that, but today I want to talk about this one line. Why so serious? So this question is probably the answer to most issues plaguing humankind in the 21st century. Why have we taken everything so serious? I mean, I remember a time when we used to be able to tell jokes without worrying too much about offending people. The clitoris has about 8,000 nerve endings and is still not as sensitive as some people on the internet. Today, people are triggered for every small little thing, and even if the joke does not offend them, they are offended for other people, and even more offended when the people who are supposed to be offended don't get offended. Now, I believe that the lines have become so blurred between hate speech and freedom of speech. And I think that we have made the opinions of other people far more important than our own values and morals. Now, opinions are like our souls. Everyone has one, some bigger than others. But why do we get offended when someone makes a racist or a sexist joke? I mean, I'm okay with someone making a racial joke, and I'm even okay with a person being racist, because I know that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. One racial joke can only influence a group of people if that message resonates and aligns to the morals, the values, the ideas, and beliefs of the people listening. In other words, the people listening are already racist. Yeah, but what about when a person of influence makes that racist joke? Surely that influences the people listening. Well, not really. One line or page of a book does not dictate the entire story, right? In the same way, one joke by someone with a large following is not going to turn the population into racist. But let's consider the case of Hitler, who shared hate with the people, and his constant messages over a period of time using hypnotism altered the beliefs of the people to the point where they actually were brainwashed and hence changed their minds. But remember, this was done with the intention to do harm. There was planning and strategy in what he did. But what do we do to good people? We activate cancel culture, killing the careers of people who have made mistakes sometimes decades ago, and people who have probably never had the intention to hurt anyone. It is like people are having orgasms, destroying good people. We cancel instead of forgiving. We cancel instead of understanding. We cancel instead of tolerating. We cancel because our own lives are so damn pathetic that we live to see others in misery too. Now, I'm using racism as an example here, but you can replace that with any prejudice that you see fit, because it applies across the board. But I think as a human race, we have become trigger happy. We are offended and triggered by anything and everything, and have somehow gotten perversely turned on by being offended. Now, the more we give attention to any kind of prejudiced remark, the more we fuel that message and let it spread. It is only when that message has the intention and the potential to actually bring harm and hurt people that a reaction is elicited or actually warranted. Now, I think that we need to be far more strong-minded about getting offended by animal pictures on clothing, or even an ad copy of a product, or someone trying to dress up in a manner that is of a different culture, or even someone making a joke about sexual orientation, or even being offended by someone assuming your gender. Do you know how many times I've gotten a phone call and was referred to as ma'am. Now, I did not shout back in the phone that it is Mr. not ma'am. It's Mr. not ma'am.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Now, I have a soft voice and probably sound feminine on the phone. Is the person on the other line sexist or trying to mock me? I don't think so. In the same way, how many times have you seen someone and thought that they were a man or vice versa and you were wrong? Did you have the intention to ridicule or insult that person? Most likely not. So why are we taking things so seriously? Consider for a second that an ad agency is sitting in their offices saying, you know what? Let's add in this racist comment here and we will all just have a secret office joke to ourselves and nobody will know. Have you ever thought about that for a second? Have you thought that maybe people are just ignorant or perhaps just too innocent-minded? That maybe perhaps what they're saying does not appear to them as being racist or offensive? I mean, look at my book, White Hands. Now, I was asked, why not use black hands? Honestly, I did not even realize that I had white hands on this cover until someone told me that they were white hands. I mean, I used this picture because it was just the right one that worked for me. If I found hands that were black hands or Indian hands, I mean, I would have used it.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
There are real cases of real racism out there. One example is the police brutality in the US. That is real racism in action. That requires immediate action, and those riots were needed. Violence? No. But riots and marching? Yes. Okay, if you want to get an erection by getting offended, then how about getting offended when we waste food? Or when a woman or child is abused? Or when we live in a country where corruption is so ripe or juicy? Or when people are not given the opportunity they rightly deserve due to merit and mere hard work? Or when we fill our earth with rubbish instead of recycling? Or when we don't offer good, free healthcare, fresh water to people? Or when our tax money is used for 5-star hotels, and when politicians are given celebrity status instead of being and living with the people? How about we get offended when someone who has the potential to be so much more but settles for mediocrity? Why don't we get offended when we marry someone and settle because we feel that we don't deserve anyone better? Now, I can go on all night, if you know what I mean. But just stop being so serious. Stop living on the edge all the time. People are loving and kind by default. Of the 7 billion people on this planet, there are probably less than 100 people planning to bring harm or do harm or hurt other people. Relax, people. I remember reading once that if the whole world smoked weed at the same time, for the first time ever, there would be world peace.
Do people get upset at you if you do certain things? There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is.
Now that does not sound like a bad idea. We need to chill the hell out. Take it easy. Let loose. Lighten up, man. Let go. Take a chill pill. Let your hair down. Woosah.
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 You think any of this stuff matters? You aren't even gonna get out of this planet alive. And you want to spend time getting offended?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, I have dreams to make come true. I have people to love. I have goals to complete. I have places to travel to. I have money to make. I have people to serve. Getting offended is not anywhere in my list of things to do. Those things turn me on. That is what I want to get excited about. Those things trigger me to make a contribution in a positive way to myself and the world that we live in. So again, why so serious, bro?